Hi, this is Juliana, and today I'm going to show you how to make these Temple of the Golden Sun earrings. They remind me of something like, I don't know, Aztec or Mayan or something. The color maybe. I made these earrings using the Summer in Sicily collection from Eureka Crystal. That collection sold out. However, they list their supplies in their on their website under the collection, and the supplies generally are not sold out. Some of them may be, but most of them are not. You may have bought the collection, have leftovers. You might have some of these beads in your own personal stash. You can purchase them at the supplier of your choice. You can purchase them in a different color palette. So there are different ways to get these earrings done. The supplies that I used were these little rondelles. I think they're, what are they? 7x5. I will list all of these supplies in the description, along with links to the Eureka Crystal site, and with the sizes, appropriate sizes. These are diamond duos. These little pinch beads. They're so cute and versatile. These 8/0 Miyuki rounds, 15/0 Miyuki rounds, 6mm bugle beads. And I'm sorry I don't have these loose. I only had what was in the collection, and as you can see, I used them all up. So this is a 10x14 teardrop, and this is a 14mm Rivoli. And then, of course, you'll need some ear hooks. And I used a green dragon thread. You could probably also use a fire line, but I would probably use a 4-pound if you use the fire line, just because it's thin like this dragon thread. And I used a rather beat up size 12 needle. It's been abused, I'll confess. And I believe that is it. So let's get started. I've threaded my needle with about a wingspan of dragon thread. And I'm going to start by picking up an 8/0, a diamond duo, 8/0, diamond duo, and I'm going to do that until I have 6 of each on my needle here. Make sure your diamond duos have 2 patent holes, not just one. I know I always remind you guys that, but believe me when I say the first time you don't check and one's not patent, you'll say, oh, that's why she always reminds us. Because you have to go back and tear work out. It's no fun. I hope you can't hear the lawnmower in the background. Every day in my neighborhood somebody's mowing, which I guess is a good thing. So 6 of each. Slide that down. Leave enough of a tail thread to weave it in. Always leave about 4 or 5 inches. And I'm just going to tie this in a knot. Just makes it easier to work with. Okay. I'm coming out of that 8/0 right there. I'm going to go into the bottom of that next diamond duo. I would want that tail thread out of my way already. And then back up through the top of the same diamond duo. Oops. That's where I can't seem to hang on to beads. I'm going to pick up a pinch bead and go through the top of the empty hole of the next diamond duo. And we're going to do that all the way around. And I'll be back. I'm coming up to my last pinch bead here, going through that diamond duo and the pinch bead next to it. You know what, I'm going to go through one more of each. Kind of pull it a little snug. And you should have that. And I'm going to pick up 3 15-0s. I'm going to skip over that diamond duo and go into the next pinch bead. And I kind of want those to sit on top of the diamond duo, not under it. Again, 3 15-0s. Skip the diamond, go into the pinch. Put those beads on top. We're going to do that all the way around, and I'll see you in a minute. And I'm coming up to my last 3 15-0s, going into that last pinch bead. Keep trying to pull my thread off the needle. I'm going to go up to 2 of those 15-0s. And I'm going to pick up 5 11-0s. And I'm going to go to the middle of the next group of 3 15-0s. Five 11-0s through the middle of the next group of 15-0s. And we are going to do that all the way around. And just make sure they're sitting on top of your pinch beads there. And I'll see you in a few. Alrighty, I'm coming up to my last set of, did I put it on here yet? No. 5 15-0s. I'm going through my middle bead there of the 3 15-0s. Did I say 5 15-0s? I meant 5 11-0s. We have that. I'm going to get my stone, such a beautiful stone. Crystal. I'm going to come up through 3 of those 11-0s. And pick up 4 15-0s. And go through the middle bead of the next set of 11-0s, which will be that third bead. I'm just going to hold on to my stone. Pick up 4 15-0s. Go to the middle, the third bead, in the next set of 11-0s. And we're going to do that all the way around. What you're going to find is that you're getting a little basket pulling over your stone there that's going to hold it in place. So just hang on to it till it's secure. We'll be back. And I'm coming out to my last set of 15-0s, already on my needle here. Going through that middle 11-0. Pushing that over to get in the middle there, and then if you haven't already, or even if you have, go ahead and pull that snug. See, that makes a nice little basket, and it's not a bad idea to go through and reinforce all these just to make sure you've got a nice snug bezel here for your Rivoli. So used to working with chatones, I almost said chatone. Chatone. Okay, feeling pretty comfortable with that. So then we're going to go down these side 11-ohs. And if you can, all the way down the 15-ohs too, so you get next to that pinch bead. Give everything a good tug. That's what you should have there. Now I'm going to go through the pinch bead. And I'm going to pick up a 15-oh, one of these beautiful bugle beads, an 11-oh, and one of these beautiful rondelles, an 11-oh, a bugle. Oop, I got two 11-ohs. I swear extra beads jump on there when you're not looking. And a 15-oh, like that. I'm coming out of this pinch bead here on this side. I'm going to skip that pinch bead, that diamond duo, and go to this next pinch bead. Go to the other side of that pinch bead. Get it down there where it's not blurry for you. I'm going to go through the diamond duo. Pull that snug. I'm going to pick up three 15-ohs and go back up through the rondelle. Get my thread wonky there. And pick up three 15-ohs. And come back down the other side of that diamond duo. And you might as well go through that pinch bead too. Pull that snug. That's what you have. We're going to go up through this 15-oh, the bugle, and the 11-oh. Pick up a bugle, an 11-oh, an 8-oh, an 11-oh, and a bugle. Come back down through that 11-oh and bugle. Back through the 15-oh, through the pinch bead, through the diamond and the other pinch bead, back up through the 15-oh, bugle, 11-oh, and then the bugle, 11-oh, skip your 8-oh, go back down through the 11-oh, bugle, 11-oh. Kind of pop that 8-oh up. And I'm going to make that round one more time just to strengthen everything there, and then we'll be back. Okay, I've reinforced my little circuit there, and I also went ahead and threaded my tail thread with a needle. I'm going to go ahead and work my way down to the bottom of this and tie some half hitches and weave in my tail thread, so any experienced beaders might want to skip this section, and I will timestamp it for you. So starting with this, I'm just going to go through that pinch bead next to it and the diamond duo. I'm going to take it to the bottom because when we're all finished with this, oh, why is that there? Oh. Alright, well, I'll have to fix that before I go on. Gosh, I might have to rethread. Anyway, when we get to the bottom, we're going to make this component next, and I want to add it to that, and I just am going to need a little bit of thread for that. So some folks will just take it off and rethread it. I just want to, I'm going to pull this off. I'll have to rethread that. Anyway, I'm just going to tie a few half hitches on this and weave it down to the bottom so I can just use this for that attachment. So I'm going to do one here. I'm going to go under that thread, that little bridge thread right there. That makes a loop. I'm going to go through the loop and pull that tight, and that makes a little half hitch knot. I'm going to go on through the diamond duo, under the little bridge there, make my loop, put my needle through, pull. I usually do 3 of them. Go under the bridge thread, and this is just so if for some reason that drop has to come off, here's the loop going through it, pulling tight. And I have to replace the drop or whatever. If I cut that drop off for some reason, or it breaks off, God forbid, it won't affect this component here. We can just redo the bridge, and it won't affect the drop component because that's being done separately. So the only thing that would be affected is the bridge. You could just cut it off at the bridge and redo it. And I'm just going to leave it right there at that little, the end of that little pinch bead. And I'm going to go off screen to rethread this because you can see my needle is a disaster. And the eye is completely collapsed, and it's going to take me a minute. I'll be back. Okay, that took an obscenely long length of time. So I'm coming out of this diamond duo right here, and I'm just going to tie a half hitch right where I am. Under the thread bridge, if I can get the needle. Here comes the little loop. Through the loop, pull it snug. Just go another bead under the bridge, loop, pull it snug. I like to do 3, just think it's more secure. My thread's getting a little short here for this, but under the thread bridge, there's my loop, through the loop, pull it snug. Now I'm just going to go through another bead or 2, and that is just to get the end of the thread away from my knot so that when I burn it off, it doesn't unravel my thread. And there we have it. Now I'm going to take this one off, the little mini tail thread here. I'm going to make sure I don't burn off my big one because I have made that mistake before. Sorry, I'm trying not to burn my finger too whilst I'm at it. Okay. That is the top. So now we are going to work on this little component next. I'll see you in a minute. I have threaded my needle with about 4 feet of thread and added 30 11/0 beads to my thread and a stop bead. I'm going to come back around to the other side here and go through the first 4 beads. So that I can make a little ring. And I'm going to pick up 2 11/0s. I'm coming out of this bead right here. I'm going to back 2 beads from where my thread's coming out. 1, 2, and go through those 2 beads from the other side. And 1 more bead in addition to that. So 3 beads altogether. Pick up an 11/0, 1 11/0. Go through one of the beads you just added. Drop down to the bead. So you're coming out of this middle bead, drop down to the bead under that, and go through that bead, the next bead, and 1 more bead. Pick up an 11/0, go back 1 bead, go to the bead below that, go through that, the one in front and the one in front of that, 3 beads. And we are going to repeat this same thing all the way around this little ring, and then I will see you back. I am coming up to my last 11/0 here, coming out of the wrong way here, coming out of this bead, going back through my 11/0 here, going below it to the bead below it and through. I'm going to go through 4, just where this gap is, because I'm going to close this gap. Flipping it over so I can go the other way, coming out of that bead, going back to the one next to it, this little buddy. I'm going to go through, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 beads. Because what we're going to do is we're going to go through this whole second row again. And just tighten it up. And when you get back to where we started, I will be back. Alright, I've gone all the way through them again and tightened that up. And now I'm going to, coming out of this bead right here, I'm just going to skip this bead and go into the bead next to it and a couple more beside that. And I'm just going to encourage that bead kind of stand up of the rest, like that. And now I'm going to pick up two 15-0s, go back through the two beads back from where my thread is coming out of, and through the one in front of it. And we are going to do the same thing we did with the 11-0s, except this time with 15-0s. Pick up a 15-0, go through one of the beads you just added, go down. You're coming out of that middle bead, go down to the bead underneath it, through the one in front and the one in front of that, so 3 beads again. And we're going to do the exact same thing we did with the 11-0s. And we are going to do that all the way around, and I will meet you back. Okay, I'm coming up to the bead that's sitting up. I've added my bead, I'm coming through the 3. I just want to say, go ahead and go through that bead like you did all your others. Pick up your other bead and go back through that 15-0. And I would wait, kind of want that to sit in front of that sitting up bead, or on top of it. This is where you can see it. And go back down through your 3 beads, but skip that bead that's sitting up and go to the next one. Then you're going to pick up your 15-0, back through this 15-0. Go through your poking up bead, the one next to it, and the one next to that. Give your 15-0. Go through your bottom bead that's below that, next one, and through a couple of the next ones, because we're about to come up again and make the round through the 15-0s again. Okay, so I'm going to pull that up a little so I can see what I'm doing. I'm coming up through that bead right there. I'm just going to go through the beads on top. Kind of watch where I'm going, because that bead that's sitting up a little, I want to kind of stop in front of that. Okay. I want to find the bead that's sitting over the top of that bead that pokes up a little. So it's not those two. I'm going to go through those two. This is the bead that's sitting up. And that's the bead that's on top of it. You can see right there. So I'm going to skip that bead and go through the rest of those 15 O's. Push that thread in front of it. And have that one pop up a little bit too. And I'm going to go all the way around, and when we get up to that bead again, we'll be back. And I'm coming up to the end here where those beads are kind of slightly elevated. Going through these last two here that are not elevated. You can see that my 15 O's are still kind of fanned out. I want to push them up to the top and pull all that snug. And these two beads are sitting up a little bit. And I am just going to try my stone. See how that's going to fit in there. Looks pretty good. I think I'm going to go around one more time just to tighten it up one more time. We'll meet back when you get back up to the top where the beads are popping up, and then we'll work our way to the other side. Also, I'm going to put a needle on this tail thread so we can get rid of that. Alright, I got that nice and tight. Looks great. And I'm coming out of this bead up near the top here. I'm just going to go to the one next to it in the next row over. Go down a couple of beads. And come up a couple of beads next to that bead that's in line with these little beads that are popping up. And then I am going to skip that bead where those beads are popping up and go down, I don't know, a couple, 3, 4 beads. Kind of help that one pop up a little. Give it a little assist. Like that. Okay, oh, forgot to thread my tail there. Let me go ahead and thread that. Well, let's just start here, since we're already here. So I'm coming out of that bead right there. I'm going to do the same thing on this side we did on the other side with the two 15 O's. Go back 2, go forward 3. Pick up 1, go through 1, drop down to the one below, that we're coming out of the middle one, drop down to the 11 O below it, go through the next one and the next one after that, so 3 beads. And we're just going to repeat the same exact thing we did on the other side. We're going to go all the way around, but go all the way around, and then we'll meet back when we get up here, and we'll also deal with this tail thread. Okay, I'm coming up to my last 15 O here. Got this one on, going through the 3, and this is the stepping up little poking out bead right here. I'm going to pick up a 15 O, go back through my 15 O, Go through the two. And that coconut bead. Pick up a 15-0. Come back through that 15-0. Go through the bead below it. But this time, I'm going to skip the coconut bead and go to the next one. You might have to do those one at a time. I'll try to do it both at the same time. Alright, I'm going to do it one at a time. So I'm going to go through that 11-0 that's right below the other one. I'm going to skip the coconut bead and go to the next one. Still didn't thread that needle. I keep forgetting. Thread that, yeah. You know what I meant. Put that on a needle. Now it's in my way. Pick up a 15-0. Go back through that last 15-0. Kind of pull that down in the front. I'm going to go back through the coconut bead and the bead next to it and the bead next to that. I got one more here. One more 15-0 into that last 15-0. Go through those two below it and then a couple of more. Now I'm coming out of that bead. I'm going to go to the one above it. Go through a couple of those. Because we're going to pull this one tight too. I'm going to go through. I got to find that one that's sitting above that bead that's poking up. Which I believe is this one right here. So I'm going to go through this one right before it. I'm going to skip it, the bead that's sitting on top of the one that's poking up, and go to the ones on the other side of it. Now I'm going to go all the way around and tighten this up. And I'm going to put my stone in there and kind of hold it in place with my point sitting where those beads are sitting up. Which I'm not doing right there. So put your point where the beads are sitting up. Kind of hold it in place. And it's the same as before. You kind of want to bend them up and just go all the way around with this to tighten this up. I can't see today, so that's why I'm struggling a bit. And if you need to, you can go around a second time just to make it really tighten up. And I will meet you back here. Okay. I got my tail thread. Got a needle on it. Really, I'm just going to go through a couple of these and tie a couple of half hitches coming out of that bead right there. Go under the thread bridge. And have a little loop. Go through the loop. Pull it snug. That ties the little half hitch knot. Go through a couple of beads, however many you want. Go under the thread bridge. Makes a loop, go through the loop. Pull it snug. One more time. Go through a few beads. Under the thread bridge. Makes the loop, go through the loop. Pull it snug. And go through a couple more beads just to get away from where you're going to cut your thread off so that you don't cut your knot loose at the same time. And that's that for the tail thread. Good riddance. Okay. This is still a little loose, so I'm going to add a few more beads in here. I'm just coming out, it can be anywhere on here where you're coming out. I'm just going to pick up a 15-0. I'm coming out of, sorry, my vision today is not great. I'm coming out of this bead. I'm going to skip the next and go into the next bead. Pick up a 15-0. Coming out of this bead right here. Skip this one. Go through the next. Then I'm going to do that all the way around, and I'll see you back here. Alright, I've added my last little extra bead there. I'm coming out of this bead here, going into one of the first I just added. And I'm just going to go through all of those beads that I just added, being careful not to miss any. Just kind of pull them snug there. And when we get through those, I'll see you back here. Okay, I went around that a couple of times and just, really that's just to secure this crystal in this bezel, just to make sure it doesn't slip out. And I am coming out of this bead here. I'm just going to work my way back to the top. Just go follow a thread path. And I'm going to go to this front bead that's kind of stepped up. And I'm going to pick up 3 11-ohs. I'm going to get my top piece here. And I'm going to go through, coming out of this side of the this bezel. So I'm going to go through the same side of the diamond duo that's on the bottom of this piece right here. And I've got this thread in the way because I thought I was going to use that. Just push that to the side. If it's still there, we can weave it in later. Pick up 3 11-ohs, sorry, and go back through the other side of the bead that's poking out. to go back up one of those, that bottom bead, that bottom 11-0. Skip the middle one, go through the top one, and back through the diamond duo. Coming down the other side, we're going to go through the top bead, the 11-0. Skip the middle one and go through the bottom one and back through the 11-0 that's poking up. And then we're going to pull that good and snug. And what we want is for those middle beads to kind of pop out on the sides there. Like that. And we're just going to go back up through those two beads again. I'm going to skip the middle one, go through the diamond duo. Just to secure it a little bit more, go through those one more time. Or even twice if you want to. I'm going to do it one more time. And then when I get up to the diamond duo this time, pull everything tight. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to weave these two in, and then I will be back. So now we're going to put on the loop for our earring. I went ahead and added about a foot of thread to my needle and put 9 15-0s on the thread. And I'm coming out of this 8-0 at the top of the earring. So I'm just going to go right back through the other side of that 8-0. If you don't know how I added that thread, I just went through, you can see my tail thread here. I just started here and went through a bead and then did about 3 half hitches. And then worked my way up to the 8-0 following my thread path. So through that 8-0, it's going to turn it over so I can bead in the right direction. I'm going to go through 2 of those 15-0s. And then I'm going to skip, coming out of the second one, I'm going to skip the third one and go through the fourth one. I'm going to skip the next one, coming out of the fourth one, going to skip the fifth one and go to the sixth one. And I'm going to skip the next one and go through the last 2 beads and through that 8-0. I'll pull that snug, and those beads you skipped should sit up, kind of poke out like so. And I'm just going to go around and reinforce that a couple of times, and then we'll be back. Okay, so I've gone through and I've reinforced. I'm just going to pop my ear hook on there. Please excuse my pliers. I've had them 100 years and they work just fine, and I am not buying new ones. I'm a creature of habit. So I'm opening my little earring hook, popping that through there. Make sure you got it on the right side so that your beautiful crystals are facing the front. And I usually kind of hang it upside down, sort of, kind of sideways to keep that bead out of the way. and then just pop it closed. And there you have it. So if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Hit the notification bell if you would like to see more like it. Share it with your beady friends. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And I hope you enjoyed this earrings. I think they came out really cute. And I hope to see you next time. Thanks. Bye.